Hi, I'm Dr. Rich Blon, a host of the Healthy Stress Doctor podcast. Behind me you'll see a board that's announcing my first free teleseminar ever, and I'm really excited about it. So if you're interested in signing up for the teleseminar, it'll be tonight, Thursday, September 22nd at 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time, United States. And I'll step away from the chair after I'm done and leave the information up on the board, and so you can write it down after I'm done speaking. So if you're interested in attending my first free teleseminar, get a pencil and paper ready so you can write that information down. In today's edition of the podcast, I'd like to continue the discussion that I started in my newsletter this month concerning rethinking the little picture. And one of the issues that a lot of my students and clients bring up with me when we talk about rethinking illogical thoughts, they want to know, how do I know if I'm thinking logically or not? And a real easy way to test whether what you're telling yourself, what your mind is telling you, is logical or not, is to see how your thinking matches up with the 3 Ps. Now, the 3 Ps were developed by Dr. Martin Seligman, and they are permanence, personalization, and pervasiveness. And permanence really relates to when your mind tells you that a condition you're experiencing in the present moment is really a permanent condition. So your mind generalizes that something that could be a temporary event, in other words, is a permanent condition. And a good example is having some credit card debt. And everybody has credit card debt, and it's normal to get a little anxious about paying off your debts. But when your mind starts saying things like, I'll never get out of debt and I'll always be unable to pay off my credit cards, then you're starting to fall into the permanence trap of illogical thinking. Permanence is, never is a long time. So I don't care how much debt you have. I mean, eventually you could pay it off. So permanence, again, is generalizing a temporary thought to a permanent condition. Personalization is when your mind takes personal responsibility for everything. And rather than look at your input or your role in something as, part of the problem, you take full responsibility for it. And a good example would be, let's say you're working, you're at work and there's some project that you're working on with a group of folks, and the thing bombs, it doesn't work out, and you tell yourself, it was all my fault, or things are always my fault, where you take full responsibility when in fact maybe it was just partially your responsibility. So when you personalize, you take everything on your shoulders, and in some cases that's not really justified and can be illogical. Pervasiveness is when your mind generalizes one unhappy or stressful aspect of your life to all aspects of your life or your relationship. So your mind might tell you something like, I'm really not very handy around the house. I can't do anything right. Well, you can do lots of things right. You're just not very handy around the house. Or in a relationship, you tell yourself, because one aspect of your relationship, let's say your ability to communicate effectively isn't that great, you say, my whole relationship stinks. When in fact there are other aspects of your relationship that are functioning pretty good. So when you use the pervasiveness or fall into the pervasiveness trap, you tend to generalize one problem or shortcoming to all aspects of your life or your relationship. So I think if you use the 3 Ps, personalization, pervasiveness, and permanence, as kind of a guide to judging your thinking, it's a pretty good rough guide for whether your thoughts are illogical or logical. And remember, rethinking the little picture starts with being mindful of how your illogical thinking about something can contribute to your stress. Well, I hope you'll join me for tonight's free teleseminar. It's Thursday, September 22nd. I'm going to step away from the board for a few minutes and let you write down the information on how to log on. And if I don't see you at the teleseminar tonight, I'll speak with you next month on the 22nd podcast. Thanks.